Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shanal, Shabbat Shemakakwadash, Shalom to the hopefully elect out there. Hope you can hear me well. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, E didn't rule shit during the Dark Ages. And we're going to go into the word Dark Ages. Okay. Say 20. Give me a second here, let me bring it up. I'm going to be a little all over the place. I'm going to go into different topics as the Spirit leads me. Put in the Dark Ages. Or you can even put in, okay, it says the Dark Age of Camelot, then it says Dark Age, Ages, Time Period, Dark Age, definition. Let me try that. Let me try that one. Okay. Okay, it says here, the Dark Ages is a term for the early Middle Ages, or medieval, or occasionally the entire Middle Ages in Western Europe. After the fall of the Western Roman European, that's Edomites, the Roman Empire was cut in half. You had the eastern part, had a western part. And there's a, well, I'll go into that some other time, but the western part fell, which Esau ruled that. And the eastern part, you know, they kept going. They thrived, which was ruled by Jake, and then ultimately Esau lost all power. That goes back to Revelation chapter 20, one of my favorite prophecies, it says, Western Roman Empire that characterizes it as marked by economic, intellectual, and cultural decline. Because we were going up and they were going down. So that was Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it. There followeth. Dark Ages definition and meaning, or Dark Age, the Greek historical period of 3 to 4 centuries, 500 years, is really more than that, from about 1100 BC I don't know how to get the BC from. Okay, that was a different Dark Ages. And by the way, everybody in GMS, every man in GMS that's a part of GMS, part of the camps out there, everybody should be doing videos. Everybody should be, the Apostle Paul said that you all show the same diligence. Peter said, giving diligence to make that calling and election sure. We're not dealing with cheerleaders no more. All right? And every man should be at a maximum overdrive right now because we're coming to the end. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. This is the mad dash to the finish. So if you don't have that attitude, then you're not of the elect. Matter of fact, I'll hit you with a precept, Revelation 3 verse 15 on down. If you're lukewarm is something less than diligent. So your favorite cousin shouldn't be in the camp because you in the camp. You diligent. Your cousin, he half-assed, but he's still in the camp. He gets to go to Passovers and hang out and watch the fights or whatever the case may be. And so what is the meaning of the dark ages? And Esau knows that. And that's why Esau is afraid right now at the fact that we're rising back up as a people. So they want to demonize us, by saying we're a hate group. And well, we're a love group. We love our people. Just like you love your people. If you love your people, you have other people not to come in. You're showing hate to those people for the love of your people. It says what is the meaning of the dark age? A time during which a civilization undergoes a decline. What civilization? Is civilization. Such as dark ages, plural. Like they use the term, oh, it was a dark time. During the time of the Depression. That was a dark time. Somebody in your family dies, it was a dark time. So this was a dark time for E. It says the European historical period from about AD 476 to about 1000. This is AD, Anno Domini, or BCE. I'm sorry, CE, the Common Era. They used to say Christian era. Now they say it's a Common Era. It says so. We're talking like 500 years. Broadly, Middle Ages or Dark Age, the Greek historical period of 3. Now that's a different Dark Age. Because Jake made Greece great. Let's try this one. Okay, so it says, what does it mean to live in a dark age? It says, if you refer to a period in the history of a society as a dark age, you think that it is characterized by a lack of knowledge and progress. And that's, Esau had a lack of knowledge and progress. And Jake, on the eastern side of the Roman Empire, they thrived. They became greater. And that's all, to the Most High. So guess what? Esau he's heading for his dark age again, which is going to end. It's going to end for him suddenly. And we're coming up. You see, Jake is doing good. Jake is running shit, man. They're in high positions in government. It said Judah shall be in the neck of thy enemy. Genesis 49. Why do they call it the Dark Ages? The term Dark Ages refers to the idea that Europe was enveloped in darkness due to a lack of cultural advancement. The white man wasn't going nowhere, the Europeans. And Jake was doing things. Many held that this belief because there was little evidence to prove otherwise in the Western European half, Esau's half of the Roman Empire, as opposed to Jake's half of the Roman Empire, which was the Eastern Roman Empire. Western uh, Western European world. That was the bottomless pit that they were put in. What is Dark Age and what is Dark Age and Christianity? For 1,000 years, a period that began with what some historians call the Dark Ages in the Christian West, and that was Jake too, and that ended through both the eastern and western extension of the Roman Empire. The essence of Christian faith was gradually uh, differently, or guarded differently, than it had been in the first 3 centuries before Christianity. Yeah, before Christianity was the pagan Romans. The dark, what is an example of Dark Age? The Dark Ages is a categorization commonly used to describe the period between the fall of the Roman Empire and the beginning of the Italian Renaissance, Spain and Italy. Spain was up in there and Italy was up, coming up. That's the beginning of the 1,000 year of them coming out of the pit, right? Renaissance meaning to be reborn. Meaning back to. Naissance is French for born. If you ever had a passport, and I had a passport years ago, because I was going to go out to Europe, but this is when I was a kid, and it said on the passport, it says Naissance, and then what does Naissance mean? It means birth. It says in the age of exploration, roughly speaking, the Dark Ages corresponds to the Middle Ages now check this out, or from 500 to 1500 AD. That's 1,000 years. That's 1,000 years. That's when Jake was ruling. That's why they don't want us to come into power, because they know what's going to happen. They know the records. They know that they're the Edomites. As I said before, they know that we're the Israelites. They know that the video, a couple of the up and coming elders put up with this Edomite speaking about these ships, these cigar-shaped ships that came down, and the beings that came out of them were the Edomite said, I was going to do a video on that. I believe I put it up on my Odyssey account. I got to put it up on the Rumble account as well. But go to my Odyssey account. There's a lot of videos on my Odyssey account that if I put it on YouTube, they would take them videos down and knock me off the page, so to speak. So this is the 1,000-year period right here. Oh, anyway, going back to that story, the Edomite said that these beings look like black men, but he said not just black men, they look like African Americans. Because African Americans look different than black Africans, like people from the Sudan. A different phenotype. And he said that the look that they had on their face, they had these gigantic weapons, and it said the look that they had on their faces was like they never got defeated. Like, this is going to be easy work. They had a look of arrogancy to them. So those were the angels. So Esau knows that. Esau knows that he's getting ready to go down. Esau knows that everything that we've been saying is going to take place. That's why you got clowns like Vocab trying to knock what we're saying. And Vocab is fighting a losing battle. It's just him against the world. Meaning the world of Israel. Every one video he makes, there should be 1,000 or more videos that we make. Anything keep your eye on that man's channel, so you can counter anything that he teaches. It's nonsense, man. It's nonsense. Okay, what is Dark Age and mental health? Before this period of European history lay the Middle Ages, which is us, we rule, often called the Dark Ages, and a period where common perceptions assumes that demonic possession, witchcraft, and superstition define mental illness and religious dominated study of the mind. Yeah, they say when you are bugged out, you see a bugged out homeless person, that means the demons have jumped on him. Let me try this one. What is the 400 years of silence? Okay, it is roughly contagious with the Second Temple period, 516 BC. Okay, this is when you go to Daniel chapter 9, speaks about what does it say, the 70 weeks. This is that period right here. It is roughly contiguous, but contagious. It's roughly contiguous with the Second Temple period, 516 BC to, because during that time period, the Babylonians and the Edomites burnt it down. So it says, what is the 400 years of silence, right, till 70 AD. And 70 AD is when the fulfillment of, it says, when the abomination that maketh desolate enter into the holy place, flee ye out. It says encompasses the age of the Hellenistic Judaism. Now Hellenistic Judaism is talking about what? Israelites that were living outside of Israel, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. It is known by some members of the Protestant community as the 400 silent years because it was a span where no new prophets were raised and the Most High revealed nothing new to it says Jewish people, the Israelites. Yeah, but in between that time, well, you did have the Lord, so I don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, let's move over to this. Okay, I looked up the word. I came across the word reconquista. Conquesta means to conquer somebody. Reconquesta means you were conquered by that power or that nation, and then you reconquered it. So this goes into the history of the Moors, which are Israelites. Because when we all went down together, the Moors and the Christians. And there was the Edomites that stole our identity, which is Christianity. That's what a Renaissance is all about. Okay, so it says reconquest, and it says reconquesta. It says the reconquesta is a historical term used to describe the military campaigns that Christian kingdoms waged from the 8th century, that was 8 AD, or CE, until 1492. Because they were conquered by Jake. The Moors had part of the kingdom, a lot of Spain, and you had the Byzantine kingdom, which were the same people. There was a movie come out starring Charlton Heston. I think it came out sometime in the 50s, called El Cid, where Moors and Christians got together and fought against the enemies, which were, I believe it was there were other Islamic, but they were Ishmaelites, and the Moors were Israelites that embraced the religion of Islam. So the main character, Vivo de what's his name? I forget his name. Well, the name that was given to him by the Arab emir was El Cid, but his actual name was Rodrigo de Vavar, or Vavar, Spain. In Spain. So these were Jakes getting together. So what happened during that time period, you had Edomites come in and take the whole our religion. So they were dressing up like us, and then they said, oh, wait a minute. The original Christians were so-called black people, which are Israelites. Let's destroy all these images and put up images of ourselves. That's why it's called Renaissance art. So it says from the 8th century until the 1492, in order to retake the Iberian. Now that word Iberia, they used to tell you that it meant Hebrew. It goes back to the word Hebrew. Iberian or Hebrew territories, which were lost due to the Umayyad, which is Hebrew, conquest of Hispania, which Edomites were ruling that. Jake took that over, so they were going back and forth during that 1,000-year period, and they couldn't get it back. That's why the last stronghold that they took over was Granada, with King, I keep forgetting this guy's name, but his title was Muhammad the 12th, which was a title. Let me do this. Okay, it says, what was the reconquest in Spain, 1492? Because who conquered them? The Moors, the Israelites. The war with the Moors, Israelites, lasted for 11 years. And in but it was back and forth. It lasted way longer than that. And in 1492, Isabella and Ferdinand conquered Granada. With the conquest of Granada, almost the entire Iberian Peninsula in Spain was united in the hands of the Spanish kings, and the Reconquista ended in 1492, while the unification of Spain ended with the tradition of Navarra in 1512. So we were kicking ass back then, but then, like I said, the key year was 1492, right? That was the Most High giving Esau his power back, Revelation 20 again. So, anyway, let me do this. Oh, I'm going to change gears. Let me do this real quick. All right. Bear with me for a minute. I'm going to show you something. See, these elite demons, they know the true name of the Messiah, right? This is the God. This is, by the way, this is the Hebrew English New Testament. So right here it says the book of the generations of. It says Yahushua HaMashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Meaning, who is the son of David that sat on the throne? Solomon. Yahushua was Solomon, reincarnation, and also the son of Abraham. Abraham had 8 sons. Who was his principal son? His second son, Isaac. That was Yahushua also. That's why the Lord said, sacrifice your son Isaac. Because later in history, he was going to be sacrificed. That was Yahushua. I remember back at One West, Ariad taught that. And there was a point where he wasn't going into it, and he was almost afraid to even say it. And I noticed that, and I said, he's questioning whether Isaac is Yahushua. But that never, I said, Isaac is Yahushua. So it says here in the Hebrew, it has a name. It says, okay, so from generation of Yahushua HaMashiach. It says here, Hamasha. Okay, it says Hamashayak, and then it says Yashawai. Let me show it to you. So they're saying that's how you say the name of the Lord in Hebrew. Yashawai. Right there. Yashawai. Which is clearly wrong. It's Yahushua. Now they do know, even if you go to the blue letter, they'll say it's the same name. It's the same name for Joshua. They'll say Jesus in the Hebrew, in the blue letter, it's also mentioned in Joshua. Joshua and Jesus is the same way. So why didn't they say, they should have said Joshua. Shouldn't they say Joshua instead of Jesus? The English, not even transliteration, but let's use that term. The English transliteration, which they went off on, is Joshua. So anytime you come across the word Jesus in the New Testament, the word there should be Joshua. And I'm going to show you that they know. Okay, it's right over here. This is Acts 7:45, which also our fathers that came after brought in with, it says Jesus, into the possession of the Gentiles, whom the Most High drove out before the face of our fathers unto the day of David. That was the land of Canaan, right? So now when you go to the Hebrew, the word is Aim, and it says Yahawashai, which is Joshua's name. It's right here. Because they know that the name Jesus in the Hebrew is the same name for Joshua. So why didn't it just say Joshua? Even the blue letter goes off. They say Yahweh Shai means Yahweh save. It doesn't mean Yahweh save. It means He save. Yahweh's name is not into that. I mean, you hear Yahweh's name, but the actual Yahweh Shai means He, the Yahweh Shai means deliverer. It doesn't mean Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, the Most High's name, saves. Because it wasn't the Most High that saved us. It's going to be His Son that's going to save us. Okay, so as you can see, it says I'm, and it says Yahweh Shai. So shouldn't that say the same thing in the New Testament, in Matthew 1:1? That shows you that they know. So now I'm going to close on this and I'll see you in a bit. Shalom.